The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
10, 9, 7, 6.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Open, the one and only show that opens up the Bronx and the world to you. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B. We've got an incredible show lined up for you today. And leading off the show, Lehman College is expanding their services to connect the pharmaceutical industry, and we'll hear more about that coming up in a little bit. After that, Jessica Mojica, the Executive Director of the New York City Department of Education, Family, and Community Engagement. He joins us to discuss New York City Parent Academy and how it will help the families of New York City. Then we'll talk to trainer and founder of Mind Over Matter Fitness, Joshua Margolis. He's here. He's going to give us tips on home training, and we'll demonstrate a pre-Thanksgiving workout right after that. We're going to need it. Hey, all this and more is headed your way. We're open for business. And Jesse's sitting right on the side. He's getting ready to come on stage. Here, stand by, everybody. Good morning. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. Today is Monday, November 19th, and time is flying. We got a fantastic show lined up for you. Make the Great Gala is coming up, December the 6th. Clyde, your thoughts on it? You've been there many times. You've seen the stars come in and come out. We raise money for students, and we build radio stations, and that's one of our major projects right now. Building radio stations for students, and we want to teach students how to present themselves, how to communicate, and even if they don't get involved in broadcasting, they can go beyond and use communications anywhere they go in the world.
First of all, I think it's great. As you said, I did participate in it many times, and I just don't know where you're going to go. Each year, you're always coming up with something exciting. I think it's very key and it's important. It's December 6th this year, right?
Terrace on the Park, Flushing Meadow Park, Queens, by that big World's Fair.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a definitely elegant place, man. It's a good vibe, especially for the mature to come out and have a good time and let their hair out and just be in a relaxed atmosphere. It's just a great place to be.
And we have one of our board members here. He's going to come on. He works for the Department of Education. He's coming on with Jesse. Jesse Mojica.
So most of all, like I said, man, I think it's great. I mean, the multicultural people that come through there, the music. We was playing salsa the last time we was there. It was great, man. I see Ann Tripp. She was doing her thing, man.
Yeah.
Capone came out and hosted. It was just a very nice to see so many people. Even Vinnie Brown came through.
Yeah.
You know, so many people came through and stopped by, man.
Al Sharpton, we honored him.
Yeah.
There was a number of wonderful people that we honored over the years, including Roscoe Brown, Percy Sutton, Adolfo Carrion from the Bronx, was the Bronxborough president back then, David Dinkins, you know, a lot of wonderful people.
Isn't Adolfo running on a Republican ticket now?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that what he's doing now?
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, I don't know
but coming back into the Make the Great Foundation, I think, like I said, it's very important that we have stuff like this. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just reach out to regular people. They come out, they support what you do, give back to the school system, our young people particularly, and I think that's great. And we need more organizations and to support those type of organizations.
And we want to thank all of our sponsors for participating over the years. I'm talking about the MCUs. I'm going to mess up somebody. BronxNet is always there. Affinity Health Plan. See, when you start announcing names, you're going to say, well, what about me?
CeeLo's Restaurant.
If you go to makethegrade.org. CeeLo's?
CeeLo's,
okay.
yeah.
Make the Great, WBLS, WLIB.
Yeah.
Say it again. UFT. UFT is always
there.
The
Teachers Federation?
Oh, the teachers are always there, yeah. And trying to get the principals union in there from the Department of Education.
Well, I've been to so many. I mean, Marley Marl. I mean, you've had the Manhattans. I think Gerald Austin. I mean, there's so many. Joe.
Goodman and Brown.
So many great
and
people.
Alicia Keys, you know, every time we tried to get her, I spoke to her a while ago. She said, anything you want to do, Bob, you know, I'm with you. But the first year we tried to do it, I think she was doing a CD. Second year she was on tour. I think the third or fourth year she was having the baby, and then the CD again. We're gonna get her in there because I'm gonna hold her too and say, Alicia Keys, remember what you said?
She's a person. I mean, according to her spirit,
she's always there with us.
she'll come through. She seems like she's for the grassroots. She's just for regular people. I mean, just knowing the type of personality she has, I think she would just be great. She'll blend in with the type of vibration.
And it's one big circle of love. I mean, you do so many things for people throughout our community, and when you have something like this, you want that reciprocation. You want people to help you, to help others get what they need out of life, because that's what it's all about.
Ultimately, where would you like to make the foundation to go? Where would you like it to wind up?
Well, we want to start building these internet radio stations and TV stations, because we're going to get BronxNet involved too, all over the tri-state area and eventually all over the country, because I think this is something that's needed. I mean, this is one of the things that stood out, besides all the other things that we do with the Make the Grade Foundation. But we think that internet radio and TV is a wonderful way for students to get the opportunity to present themselves in the comfort of their own home sometimes, or in the comfort of their own school.
Now, what type of requirements, like let's say for young people, do they have to reach a certain type of eligibility to get involved with the Make the Grade? Do they have to have a certain type of income or grades in school? What would be the requirements for them to get involved?
Each school has their own rules and regulations. In one of the churches that we do churches, community centers, and schools. They have students that are involved and want to get involved in a communications club. So we have those students, and we have pictures of them broadcasting and everything. The one up here in the Bronx, Wildcat Academy, they were looking for something to get involved in, and it was strange. It was second chance students. It was strange for us when we got over there and we started speaking to them. They weren't interested in just, they said, oh, what is this? But I was crying once they put all that stuff together. It was like, they blew us away.
But they
interviewed us.
You're leaving a legacy behind, Bob, and you're giving people who never had the opportunity to get a chance to be exposed to something at a great magnitude like that, and making them feel important, making them feel like they're somebody. And with that type of spirit, they can go anywhere, man, in life. And I'm talking about doing something constructive, something positive, and they could just take what you're doing and go to a whole nother level. Oftentimes when you are teaching young people, sometimes you forget, because you can't remember every student. Right. But as they get older and they move on in their endeavors in life, they remember something that you did, and they come back and tell you.
They
and you
always
smile.
do. I mean, it goes
just
beyond.
keeps you going.
It goes way beyond the Make the Grade Foundation. We were doing this for years with the WBLS On Time program, visiting schools throughout the tri-state area. That's how we came up with this concept. That's how it grew, and it was born with that concept. And what we would do in the morning was just go to these different schools and find out what that school had to offer.
Okay.
And then find out what that student wanted to do when they graduated. And we believe that 9 times out of 10, when they told 3.5 to 4 million people what they wanted to do, they would follow that dream. You told a whole lot of people. Now, what are you going to do? And they come up to you years later with their briefcase and looking the same age as myself, of course.
Do you think
we're the same age now?
What about
they
also?
always tell me, you came to my school back in the day, 1980 something. So, okay, we're the same age now.
Would you incorporate financing in that, teaching young people how to manage money at a very young age? Because I don't see that in the schools too often.
Well, that's a part of our mission statement. It's a collaboration between parent, teacher, student, community, clergy, health, and financial literacy.
Okay.
And that's in my book. That's almost completed as soon as I get all these other things out of it.
Wow, you got a lot of stuff.
7 ways to make the grade.
Okay.
And those 7 items, those 7 things that I just mentioned are going to be in there.
Okay.
All right. It's problem, solution. Just like when you see a commercial or hear a commercial on radio, problem, solution.
That's key. Solution, I think, is key. I mean, we could talk about the problems that are going on, but what are the solutions? People can learn from that. It's about, if you make mistakes, don't keep repeating your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes.
And you're going to hear, and checking it out, you're going to hear or read about all the problems that I've been through. I'm not supposed to be sitting here with you talking right now. On a number of occasions that could have went that way. And I'm sure for a lot of other people, too. But you can hear about some of the adversities that I went through and other people have gone through and how we came out of them. And then we're going to hit you with the 7 ways that you can make the grade, that you can instill in your life. And
It's
come
funny
out on
because
top.
I listen to Steve Harvey in the morning, just between 6 and 6:15, and he has a spiritual segment. He just talks and gives some spiritual advice.
Yeah.
And I think that's key, and it just reminded me of that when you just brought this
Yeah.
up.
Well, I set it off. I get off at 5. I'll give it to Donnie McClurkin in the morning.
Okay.
He does an hour of prayer music. I'm called gospel music. And then Steve Harvey comes on. I end with a prayer, which you ask God's gift to you and what you
Right.
make of yourself. It's your gift to God, so choose your choice and let your choice control the chooser. Then Donnie McClurkin comes on and hits you with his prayer. And you can drop to your knees and pray with him. And then Steve Harvey comes on and he hits you with a prayer just to set off his show, set the tone for the day for WBLS.
I think that's key, man. It's important, that we continue to support and give back to our communities. And we role models, whether you realize it or not. The things that we say, people watch this program all the time, whether they stop me in the streets and say, you guys are doing such a great job in what you're doing. And it's not about flattering ourselves.
Yeah.
People, when they tell you themselves without you even saying anything, you must be making some sort of impact. And I think that when we got this opportunity to speak these words and God put this type of spirit in me, this is when we must use it to help other people, because there are people who are watching saying, what can I do to get in that position?
Communication is big. God's trying to communicate with you
Yes.
through dreams
And also
daydreaming and all that stuff.
through hurricanes and tornadoes and through Sandy.
Well,
He's
that's
talking
a
to us.
whole nother
Yeah,
thing.
we don't want to forget that. I don't want to put, Band-Aid over cancer or just water things down, but we got to speak truth.
Yeah.
And hardcore truth.
DJ Kool Clyde weighing in.
Yes.
Give DJ Kool Clyde a big
right.
round of applause. Rocking the music on the 1s and 2s and 3s. Yes, he has an 8-track machine under the table there too. Thanks a lot, Clyde. We got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. But, you got to check it out. I'll let you check it. We'll be right back after this with more.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up the bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. First pitch is out.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Low-fat cheese sandwiches on whole wheat bread. Chewy and good for you. Snacks high in calcium help build strong bones. And foods rich in fiber are good for your heart. So you have the power to dominate. Can your food do that? Run, throw, think, eat better. Find out more at smallstep.gov.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Chick, 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 chick. Put your hand up there. There you go. Kool Clyde on the 1s and 2s and 3s. There was that 8-track machine that's under the table that you didn't hear. But it was on and playing. Our first guest is a licensed pharmacist working to educate young minds right here in the Boogie Down Bronx and beyond. And it's through a new pharmacy program here at Lehman College. Please welcome Vanessa Walker to the program. Vanessa, how are you?
I'm great.
Nice to see
How are
you.
you? Very
Good,
nice
good.
to be here.
I didn't know they had a pharmacy program right here at Lehman College.
Yes, it's a pharmacy technician program. We train people to become pharmacy techs, and pharmacy technicians work in a lot of different avenues in the pharmacy setting. They work in hospitals, they work in the retail setting, places like CVS, Duane Reade, Walgreens. They work in places like Costco. They work in hospices. They work all over the place.
So pharmacy technician, they're not just counting pills and stuff. What do they actually
Oh,
do?
no. We train our technicians to be able to decipher what a prescription says. We train them on customer service, how to interact with the public, knowing that when a person comes into the pharmacy, they're not always going to give you their best side.
Yeah.
So knowing how to talk with that person is very, very important.
Very important,
Yes.
because a lot of people don't know, they don't know that the language, it's a whole totally different
Right,
language.
exactly.
So that person is very, very important because they're the middle person. They can decipher
Yes.
that language and disseminate that information to the public.
Right.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes.
I think so, too.
What other types of services are offered to students in this program?
Well, we have a compounding lab at CUNY on the Concourse. And
CUNY on the Concourse.
Yes,
I love
yes. It is beautiful. I helped to design this particular lab. And we teach students their compounding. And what compounding is, I kind of liken it to making pancakes from scratch. Sometimes a doctor will write a prescription and we would have to use the raw materials to make up that finished
Wow,
product.
yeah.
So we train them on how to do that. We also talk to them about pharmacy calculations. That's my favorite thing to do. I love math. I'm a woman that loves math.
All right.
And so we train them
you
on
can help
calculations.
count Cool Clyde's money.
Hey, why not?
He doesn't spend anything, so he has a lot
Oh,
of
really?
Yeah.
Okay, is there a fee for that?
Yeah, you could charge him. But compounding is a very important thing also.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, and when we talk about compounding, there's different types, there's different levels. In the hospital setting, for example, there's people that need IV medications, intravenous medications, and there's actually pharmacy staff that will compound those medications.
So you have to be able to put them together and make sure that they work and interact together.
You have to be able to put them together under sterile conditions. That's
Yes.
something that's very important because we have, there's a premise that people that are in the beds are sicker than we are. So we don't want to give them anything that's communicable.
Yes.
We don't want to put them in a worse state than what they are.
Well, you hear stories of a lot of
Right,
hospitals.
right. Recently in the
infections
news,
and
right,
stuff.
right, right. And with all of that, with sterile compounding, there are certain rules and regulations that you have to abide by because you want to make sure that what your product is pure.
Yes. Yes. So compounding, if a doctor gives you an order, I thought it came from like a factory or something that it was ready made. But
Well, some do. Yeah, some
you can
do.
mix these chemicals together.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Yes,
That's
it's
something
really
new. I've
interesting.
learned it. Yeah.
It's very, very
Yeah.
interesting. So we teach our students how to do that. We teach them, pharmacy calculations is a passion of mine. We teach them, because I find that a lot of people are not good in math. And it's not their fault that they're not.
Yeah.
Sometimes they fell off the wagon way in the 4th, 5th, 6th grade. And to bring a person to the level where they're comfortable dealing with numbers is really great.
Yeah. I started mixing a long time ago. Before mixing music.
Okay.
I was mixing compounding. We didn't call it that. I was just
Oh, Lord.
grabbing stuff and mixing it together to check out the reaction, the chemical reaction.
Should I call Jesus now?
And I made something that ate up concrete,
Ooh.
but it survived in one of those thick pickle jars. But when I poured it under concrete, it started eating away at the concrete.
Okay. Wow.
That's how strong that was.
That's some strong stuff you had.
So was I compounding?
You were doing something else. So I wouldn't exactly call it compounding.
How important is it to encourage young minds?
It's very important. When you think of, I'm going to say first of all, for a very selfish reason, because I plan to be old one day. And if I don't have confidence in the people that are coming up now, then I'm going to have a hard time when I get older.
No, yes.
Lots of us are going to have difficult times when we get older. It's important because we have to treat them the same way that we were treated when we were younger. And there were people around that encouraged us. So it's really, really important. If we want them to seek a level of wisdom, opportunity, whatever you want to call it, if you want them to seek that level, you have to encourage them.
Yeah. Now, you said you helped design the lab?
I basically told them what we needed and where we needed to place it. And they carried out the orders beautifully. It is a beautiful space. It really is.
It's all a part of helping that student become interested in something.
Right.
You see something laid out properly, and then you gave them the proper language that
Exactly.
goes along with it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Most of the students say, you know, I don't really think I can read a prescription when they first come to me.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's that blank space right there.
Exactly.
Oh, I can't do that. But
and
then you show them.
once we break it down, the first thing that you must know is that the prescription is not written completely in English. It's a combination of English and Latin. So once you know that part of it, you won't be able to read it unless you understand Latin.
yes.
That makes things a lot easier.
So I guess it's a challenge to try to figure all that stuff out. But once you learn that, it's like the key to the door.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right, so you started this program when?
We started the program back in March. We were putting together, and we're still in the process of putting things together to have our first class in February.
Oh, okay. So it didn't start yet, actually.
Not yet.
With the students.
Not yet, but it started in the vision.
So how are you getting students involved?
Well, we, for one thing, I'm on BronxNet. We also have been doing open houses, and we have a couple of open houses coming up. We have one on December 7th, and we also have one on December 19th. Both of them take place between 6:30 and 8 p.m. The December 7th open house is going to be at Lehman's main campus, and on December 19th, we're going to have an open house in the lab, and I will do a demonstration of compounding.
Well, what do you tell students? Well, a lot of students think that, chemistry it's a tough thing to do, like math. How do you get them interested in it?
Well, I tell them that it is hard. And if it were easy, then
But it's
everybody
rewarding.
would want to do it,
Yes.
right? And it's sort of like price versus value. What do you consider to be greater? The price that you have to pay to obtain something, or the value that it holds? And I tell them, you may come into this field and you may love it, and this may be the thing that you want to do for the rest of your life, and that's wonderful. You may come into this field and you may decide, hey, I want to take it a step further. I want to go to pharmacy school and I want to become a pharmacist. Or you may come into this field and you may say, well, you know what, I do want to work in healthcare, but maybe I want to be a nurse, or maybe I want to be a doctor. So I always say that pharmacy technology is a gateway. It's a gateway to other careers in medicine.
Excellent. I'm interested in it. And I see that the floor manager here, he's like, yeah, he's shaking his head. Yeah,
Well, come on by.
I may want to change my career here. I'm
Come
the floor
on by.
manager, but I'm listening to you, so I can mix.
All right.
On the ones and twos, I can mix my chemicals.
Okay.
Well, give us some more information. How do we get involved in this?
Okay.
And, is there a website?
There
or-
is a website, and the website is www.lehman.edu/CE, as in continuing education, CE.
Say it again.
www.lehman.edu/CE.
Vanessa Walker, Pharmacy Program Coordinator at Lehman College. Thank you so much.
Thank you
It's a
for
wonderful
having
program. Jump on it. It's right here at Lehman College. Jump on it. You can make a whole lot of money and help a lot of people get what they need out of life. We're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. There's more coming your way right here on Opens Channel 67. Thank you so much. Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
How you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Thanks.
If only child abuse were this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call 1-800-4-A-CHILD. All calls are anonymous and confidential. Trust your instincts.
How you doing? I just want regular, no sugar today.
You got it.
Thanks. Hello.
Hi.
Did you eat that whole thing today?
Yeah.
Yes. Hi.
How you doing?
She's getting big, huh?
Big. Yeah, she is big. Great haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks cute. Well, let's go. Nice to see you. Thanks a lot.
If only child abuse were this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call 1-800-4-A-CHILD. All calls are anonymous and confidential. Trust your instincts.
Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? That zit is huge. Zit face. Ugly.
You know, when I was younger, man, my brother was the one who really took care of me, man.
Is that right?
Hey, he'd wake me up in the morning, get me ready for school, take a shower, make me some breakfast.
Where your brother at now?
Oh, you know, Iraq. I get lonely, nobody to talk to. I felt like quitting school. He looked at my dad in my eye, he told me, if not for me, do it for him.
Give Josh and our class of 08 the boost they need to graduate.
We got you.
Join us at boostup.org.
And welcome back to Open, everybody. Open Flashback will feature Janet Thomas, author of Lemons, Lemonade, and Life. All righty. Now we have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. There's a whole lot I want to throw to this package, though. Check this out. Back to Open, everybody. We have fun here each and every Monday, and we have a beautiful guest here. Our first guest is a metaphysician, speaker, and author who helps many people in order to heal them from things like addiction, sexual abuse, you name it. It goes on down the line. And when you're a metaphysician, you know, you have a different look at the world. You want to know, how things got started and what, how these pieces came all together. Here to tell her fascinating story, as well as advice to our audience, is Janet D. Thomas, all the way from L.A.
Yes.
It's a special thing. You got a beautiful, smart author in from L.A. Now, tell us, how did you get started in wanting to become a metaphysician first?
Well, Bob, it seems like I've been a metaphysician my whole life. It's something that I've
felt
always,
that, yes.
Oh, absolutely. I kind of came in wondering about how things work, how we got here, how do things interconnect. It's been a part of me forever.
Did you ever get into macrobiotics and all things of that nature?
No, not yet. That might be coming up, but
different
not
foods,
yet.
Coupled with the environment that you live in, how important it is to eat the foods from your environment. And all
it's
that.
A wonderful thing.
Yeah.
The synergy
How about dreams?
between
You
them.
got into dreams?
Yes. Oh yeah. Exploring a lot of those things that are a little esoteric,
kind
of uncommon, or just a little bit more obscure.
Right.
Yeah, it's great.
And it was once said that we have two sides of the brain, the left side and the right side. And they said the left side deals with comprehension and all of those things, and the right side deals with it's pictorial. And when you go to sleep, that right side stays up.
Activated.
And the thing that that helps you to think and comprehend and analyze things, the analytical side just goes to sleep a little bit, so the right side takes over. I just heard this. Right side takes over a little bit, and then that's why your right side can't. Your left side can't say, "Put your feet back on the ground." You can't fly.
Yeah, exactly right.
And you come up with all these crazy dreams.
Yeah, when you talk about the dreams, it's the idea of the moreness to life. There's more than what we see physically, and the willingness to be able to tap into that
Yes.
is something that I think really serves us well.
That vast
Yeah.
subconscious world.
Yes.
It's like the universe. I mean, sometimes I think it's bigger than the universe, that subconscious world.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
just going in, you know.
There you go.
Tell us about your story and your challenge in life.
Right. Well, actually, my story begins back in December of 1990 when, I call lemons our unpreferred situations or traumatic life experiences. Those are what lemons are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
and
not like a
so-
car that doesn't work well.
Oh, my goodness. It's about those experiences that are truly non-preferred. And back in December of 1990, I just had had enough. I'd reached my breaking point, and I just felt like I couldn't live anymore because the pain had gotten too great.
Yeah.
And so I literally was going to check out. And my husband made me see that if I did that, our son would never recover.
Yeah.
And he said, if you do this to our son, I will hate you forever. So I just went, I have to stay on the planet.
Oh, I got to stay here.
I have
I've
to
got
stay.
work to do.
Yes. So that's when I used
Good.
everything that I had learned all up to that point and then did my healing process for real. I mean,
Yeah.
I rolled up my sleeves and I got in there and really just started to recover. And then I documented how I was able to achieve wholeness.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you put it all together, mind, body, and spirit.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You were able to heal yourself first
Yes.
before you can begin to help heal others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's an individual journey. We all have to make the decision
Yeah.
to start. And like Clyde was talking about digging deeper, you
Yeah.
know, going inside a little deeper. We have the courage to do that, I think.
Does everybody have that healing power?
I certainly believe so, absolutely. I believe that we all have the inherent ability to heal ourselves,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
Is it
Yeah.
with the mind or with the touch? You use your hands or?
Different things resonate with different people.
Mhm.
My particular expertise is in emotional healing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in the emotions.
So if you sit with someone, what do you tell them first? You want to find out what they're all about and what ails them first?
The most important thing, I think, is to really listen. Because we have so much that's bottled up inside of us. And one of the keys that I found during the healing process is to allow that to release itself safely. So if you have a trusting, warm environment where you can release that,
Yes.
that naturally starts that healing process. It's amazing.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't have someone that they can go to and confide in and really let it
Yes.
out the way they really want to.
Yes.
So they'll come to a nice person like you who is an expert at it.
Yes.
And you know how to bring it out of them too, make them feel nice and comfortable.
Yes.
And just go from there.
Yeah. And I think the magic part is really we have the inherent ability to do that within ourselves with no one else present.
Yes.
We don't have to wait for permission to start to heal. We don't have to wait for permission to start to feel good, to start to acknowledge what's happening and tell the truth. We don't have to wait for permission. We don't have to wait for anything.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You think foods have a lot to do with a lot of the ailments that we have in our community?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Another one of my expertise is in emotional eating because the food was my best friend since I
Yeah.
was a little girl, and so the comfort eating was very, very important, but it was something that I needed to do to survive.
Yeah.
And when I started healing emotionally, I didn't need the food in the same way.
Mhm.
So it was just kind of like a domino effect of so many aspects healing because I was willing to do the internal work.
What is your husband's name?
Ex-husband, Fred
Oh, Fred.
Thomas, who actually, well, he is my best friend.
Yes.
He's literally my
best friend, ex-husband, Fred.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for just enlightening and giving, shedding some light on this wonderful person to
Yes.
help her continue to do what she does best.
Thank you, Bob.
So-
I would have missed so much had I not
Yes.
stayed around.
Yes, we would have missed you because you're helping a whole lot of other people too.
Yes.
And that's most powerful when you're helping others get what they need out of life.
There's nothing better.
Yeah, I mean, that makes you feel sometimes that's better than getting paid. I mean, we need to live on earth and survive and get money, you
Yes.
know. But that's like a whole nother avenue of getting paid.
Exactly right. Imagine if you are in your passion, it allows you to create the
Yeah.
abundance that will help you live and to continue to do it.
So you use the metaphor of lemons and lemonade.
Yes.
And tell us more about that. You touched on it a little while ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So lemons are what I call the non-preferred situations in life, whatever they may be. So
Yes.
each person has their own version of what those lemons are. So I operate under the assumption that we can live our best life not in spite of our lemons, but because of our lemons. They are actually our building block on how to live our best life. So the question is, how do you convert your lemons into sweet lemonade? And that's what the book is about. It's an actual step-by-step guide and process on how to do that.
So you don't have to be sour all your life.
No, there's too much sweetness. There's too much sweetness. So
add a little sugar to it.
Yeah, we need to have that. I mean, imagine what it would look like if everyone got clarity and had their clarity of purpose and identified their passion. What would this world look like if we all did that?
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
How important is that? Mental clarity and purpose, so a genuine purpose in life.
Yes, absolutely.
Purposeful living.
Yes.
The reason why you're here.
Yes. And we all have a contribution to make, a unique contribution. So it's about, accessing that within ourselves so that we can contribute in the way that we're meant to.
What do you say to the people that say, well, I'm here, I don't know why I'm here, and I just have to find my reason, my purpose. I have to find my mark in life. What tools do they have?
I would say take that passion as a starting block and to start releasing the pain and the issues that are blocking what you want to do. Now, Paul Shepard once wrote, there is a secret person, undamaged, in every individual. So the idea is, how do you reach in and access that secret, undamaged person?
Whoa.
That's the point. So take that passion and go underneath the pain, and there's your secret, undamaged person that lives beautifully within you.
Yes.
That's what I would say.
That perfect harmony, mind, body, and spirit.
Always there.
Blockages. Tell us about it.
Yeah. The blockages, the lemons. We start to believe things that happen to us. And it's not true. We don't have to believe that. As an example, I experienced childhood sexual abuse. And I went for decades thinking that it was my fault, that if I hadn't been in a certain place, or, we internalize those things. And then I got to the point in my healing process where I finally started taking care of myself, and it was unacceptable that happened. So I started to reclaim, grieve that, and reclaim that undamaged person.
Can everybody in this audience feel it? Give her a big round of applause, everybody. I feel this. So you have our beautiful book out.
Yes.
The name of the book, Lemons, Lemonade, and Life.
Woo! Practical steps for getting the sweetness back when life goes sour.
There you go. Where can we get it?
You can get it on Amazon, it's Kindle, it's an ebook, iTunes, my website, janetdthomas.com.
Beautiful, beautiful. And before we go, we will pick up this book, and all that information is right there. You can take a peek, Janet. Look.
Oh, my goodness. There it is.
One quick piece of advice to people looking to get into something positive or who are going through hard times.
What I would say is, when we talk about the word responsibility, we think of this ominous, dark kind of word. But the word responsibility, if we have responsibility for our lives, just simply means we have the ability to respond. Responsibility. You have the ability to respond to your life.
I love you. Welcome to New York.
Thank you so much.
I
look
can
forward
feel
to
you,
coming
mind,
back.
body, and spirit.
Woo! Thank you.
Janet, give her a big hand. Let her hear you. Let her feel you.
Thank you.
Lemons, Lemonade, and Life. Beautiful author, Janet D. Thomas. Thank you so much for traveling all the way to New York City from L.A.
I'm different, yeah, I'm different.
I was experiencing flashbacks all over the place. And we have to take another break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to talk to Jesse Mojica and Mac McDonald. They're coming up right here. Stick around. We'll be right back.
My name's Brandon. I'm 9 years old, being alcoholic.
Hi, Brandon.
I'll start drinking with the older kids. And whatever they do, I'll do.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults. So start talking before they start drinking.
I know it'll start with alcohol. I'm just not sure how it's gonna end.
Hi, I'm Sean Johnson of the 2008 U.S. Gymnastics team. I'm here with our friends from VeggieTales to say, be a player, get up and play an hour a day.
Besides gymnastics, how do you stay in great shape, Sean?
I love to dance and rollerblade.
Cool.
You don't have to be an Olympian to be a player. Just do the things you already love to do, like jump rope, ride a bike, or even play freeze tag.
Now that's something to flip for.
Well done! For fun ways to get healthy, visit www.smallstep.gov.
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, are you okay?
What? Oh, this? It's probably nothing. I'm sure it'll go away.
Go away? But, sir, that can't be good.
No, it's cool. Really.
Do you want a napkin or something?
Everything's fine. Thanks.
You wouldn't ignore this. So why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately. Because time lost is brain lost.
These things we count on every day started as ideas. Ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support minority education today so we don't miss out on the next big idea tomorrow. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Hi, I'm Sonia Richards of the 2008 U.S. Track and Field Team. I'm here with our friends from Jane and the Dragon to say,
the amount counts, so keep portions under control.
When you're on the go, there's nothing better than a healthy snack to give you a boost. But remember, portions count too.
I love fast food. Fruit, that is. It's the perfect size and great to eat on the fly.
You've got the idea. For fun ways to get healthy, visit www.smallstep.gov.
And welcome back to Open, everybody. Recently, historically, women of the Bronx were honored, and we want to take a look.
Today is my first day actually hearing about these women and hearing them speak and about all these things that go on. I was never aware of all of these issues.
Heard about the women that never realized what they were up against in another generation, another time. And it was amazing to see what they accomplished with as much difficulty as they had at their day.
We have so many issues that we are facing today as women, and we should always remember the pioneers that started our empowerment path.
Hopefully what we did today, each of us as leaders presenting our leaders from the past, we linked the leaders from the past as women of the present to our young women of the future.
DJ Kool Clyde on the ones and twos, rocking it. It's like the Tonight Show. He's the band. Our next guest is the Executive Director of New York City Department of Education, Family and Community Engagement. Today he'll tell us about how the New York City Parent Academy helps the families of the community. Please welcome Jesse Mojica. Jesse Mojica and Mac McDonald. I don't know if he wants me to call him Volton, but they use that in the real world. Right? That's on your credit card. You sign your checks with that.
Yeah, it's on my credit card.
We welcome you guys to the show. You guys are doing a great job. Now, I always thought they had a parent coordinator section with the Board of Education, the Department of Education, but this is sort of new.
This is brand new. So this is in addition to our parent engagement efforts. It's a parent academy. The chancellor spoke about this last year and promised to launch in the fall of this year, and we stayed true to that promise.
Yeah.
And what the parent academy is going to do is basically two things. One is offer borough-wide workshops for family on a myriad of different topics, as well as provide school family engagement training at the school level for a select number of schools in the initial year.
And how does that get the families involved? Because you go to a lot of parent-teacher meetings and parents somehow don't show up all the time.
Sure.
Yeah. So how does this help?
Well, it's an opportunity for parents to get informed. All right. I think when parents are empowered, they're more active, and once they become able to have communications that are positive communications, relationships develop where parents are engaged enough to be active and connected. So, the way the Parent Academy is structured, we're training schools on what's called the partnership standards. And these partnership standards ultimately promote positive relationships. And on the other end, we are providing information to parents. We're informing them on some of the most critical areas on how schools and the department can help them provide supports for the schools and for their students. Now, ultimately, research says that students do better when parents are involved. And what we want to do is we want to enhance what parents do and how they're engaged in schools, but ultimately we want to impact what's happening with students.
Jesse, how do we reach out to the parents and let them know and put everybody on the same page?
Sure. With respect to the Parent Academy, parents can go to nycparentacademy.org to get information on upcoming workshops. We had our first workshop last Saturday, not this past, last Saturday, at Long Island University in Brooklyn. And coincidentally, you mentioned parent-teacher conferences.
Yes.
So the first workshop was on parent-teacher conferences because we know that is an important opportunity for parents to find out what their children are learning and to also be able to give guidance to families as to what type of information should they expect to get at parent-teacher conferences, as well as we had breakout sessions where we went through parent-teacher conferences, the types of questions to expect, the types of questions, the types of information you should be receiving, and the things you can do at home to be able to enhance your children's learning.
Yeah. Now, we came out of Hurricane Sandy. This is like the aftermath, and it's like lingering because people are still hurting. Is your department doing anything to help with the Hurricane Sandy's aftermath?
Actually, at the first Parent Academy, in partnership with Long Island University, we were able to have social workers there at the Parent Academy to be able to speak to families who have been going through the after effects of the hurricane and who've suffered tragedies, to be able to pull them aside privately and to be able to have conversations with them. And all of us at the department have been working collectively to assist families throughout the city. This has been a terrible tragedy. So many families are suffering, and every part of our department is working 100% to be able to support our families.
Now, are schools still closed?
Yes.
You have a number of schools that were flooded out.
It's not closed, but there were some schools that were relocated. So there were a group of schools that suffered so much damage that they had to be relocated to other sites. So all schools are open. It's just that some had to be relocated.
The building.
Correct. And as we progress throughout the weeks, there are some that their structural damage is repaired and they're able to go back to their sites. So this is going to be an ongoing process for a bit of time.
Yeah. What are community education councils and why are they so important?
Well, CECs are parent representatives within the respective districts. So years ago, we used to have school boards, and then with the authorization of mayoral control, that transformed to community education councils. So there are 11 members to each council, 9 that are elected, 2 appointed by the borough president, and they are the voice of parents within the district. These are very important parent leaders within the district that talk on a myriad of different topics, such as zoning issues, issues of school utilization. We work very closely. Our office works very closely with the councils, and they have a very important voice in the discussion on education policy.
And both of you guys have been in education for a while now. You guys can explain a little bit about what you've been through with some of the departments that you handled in the past. Sure. Mac, you can start with you.
Well, I'm not sure where you want me to start. You know,
Give me a quick synopsis.
A quick synopsis, okay, because it is a book in some sorts. But I started off as a teacher and moved my way up through administration, principal, local instructional superintendent, just most recently a network leader responsible for groups of schools and their achievement, and now senior director of the Parent Academy, which is probably one of the best opportunities I have to support something that I really believe in. I believe in parents. I believe in how they are serviced. You know, I believe in how parents should be engaged, and you know, one of the things that we know as administrators and as educators is that some of our most challenged young people would need to have additional parent support, but we also have to look at some of the situations that parents are involved in. Parents work, all right? They make sure, and for all intents and purposes, that their children are provided for. And as a program like the Parent Academy, we want to get connected to these parents. We want to make sure that they're not overlooked. And it's important for them to have input in this project as we move along. Right. And one of the things you just asked about earlier is how do we get them involved? Yes. You know, they are driving a portion of this initiative because they're creating the topics for us. You know, we want to make sure that they understand that they're vested partners in this initiative. So
schools are not babysitters.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's not so much being babysitters, because as a principal, what I wanted to do is have a multi-service building. When your child came into my school, I wanted to make sure that that child was able to stay there from 7:30 until 8, 9 o'clock at night. We know that some of the most serious situations that young people get involved in that are counter to positive behavior happens between 3:30 and 6:30. I wanted to make sure that young people were able to stay there. Now, as far as parents are concerned, absolutely. We're not saying we're babysitters. We're saying that we provide supports and services in support of the families and the parents. So parents can have
confidence.
Be
there every step of the way.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's important.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, you have a background with New York University. 2 Bronx Borough presidents, Adolfo Carrion and Reuben Jr. And you've been in the Board of Education or the Department of Education for some time now.
Sure, absolutely. And it's just to echo what Max said. It is that parents are essential in just achieving for their students achieving their success. And we have to do that though in a myriad of different ways. Like, we have to ensure that we reach out to our parents every way possible. There are situations that our families are facing that they have to work 2 jobs, that they are caring for their children on their own. And so we have to develop, you know, as many ways as possible. Parent Academy being one. Earlier this year, the Chancellor unveiled a texting initiative where if you text 877-877 NYC Schools, then you will be signed up to receive information. So this was a very important tool and mechanism, because we do understand that some families don't have access to computers, but many have access to phones. So let's use every possible mechanism to reach out to our families to get information in their hands so they can best support their children.
Yeah, and I guess I maybe heard it through the grapevine. Are there classes given to parents where they can be on the same page as some of the students? Is that one of the things that we're looking at?
Well, I think that part of the Parent Academy is to be able to provide information to families and on different topics. So there's a lot of conversation on the Common Core. What is the Common Core? Right. So parents want to know about that because this is what their children will be learning. So to empower parents to be able to say, this is what your children are going to be learning, and this is what it is, so I can better understand it as a parent and be able to support my child at home.
What's the difference between yesteryear and what's going on today? Of course, we didn't have the Parent Academy, but you know, how did we get the parents involved back then?
I think that with technology, you know, there are ways that we are able to back when I was going to school, that was impossible. Things like a texting initiative or things of that sort, online courses. So I think technology has helped us to be able to think a bit differently on how to reach families. But I will say that there are things that remain the same. Parental involvement was important 30 years ago, 40 years ago, is equally as important today. And I am sitting here speaking with you, working at the Department of Education because my family was very involved in my education and went to meetings, asked questions. My father had a 6th grade education and did not want that to happen to me, and I was the first to graduate college. I meet families day in and day out who will do anything for their children. And I think that it is our responsibility to be able to provide them the tools so that their children could achieve what all families want. All families want their children to achieve their dreams, to do better than what they did, to open a door that maybe was closed for them. And we at the department are committed to doing everything that we can to help support these families, achieve their dreams and help their children achieve their dreams.
Gentlemen, give me a message to the students. What should they be thinking right about now in terms of being able to work with the Department of Education and work with the parents and essentially working with the community to make this work for the student? What should they know right now?
Well, the way that, again, I'm thinking about where I was as a student. I was pushed. I was motivated, I was supported, in some respects, and then I didn't see a future. You don't know how many times I've had conversations with young people and I've asked them, what do you see for yourself in 5 years? I think it's important for us as adults and as educators to give young people opportunities to see the future. All right? So once you step into a school, those are the steps that you're taking towards a future. Your dreams, whatever your dreams are, schools will be supported, they'll be supplied with information, and they will also be nurturing grounds for young people to have opportunities to dream about what's next. And school leaders will be apprised and supported to do that. Teachers will also be engaged to make that happen. And then parents will also have opportunities to say, my child deserves to have a right to, whatever that is. Yeah. So when that child and their children go to school, that they'll have a unique academic experience that can support them for the future.
Same question, we got a minute.
So anything is possible, that the future is boundless. A lot of times one may think that, well, my reality today is always going to be my reality, and that isn't the case. I mean, it is that education is the great equalizer, that it opens up every door imaginable. And I would say to every single young person, every single student within our school system, that you can achieve anything you want, and you will achieve your dreams.
And give me a website or a number where people can go to get more information.
Sure. So with regards to number, our office's number is 212-374-4118. And with regards to anything at the department, www.nycschools.gov.
There you go. Jesse Mojica.
Yes, sir.
All right. Director, NYC Department of Education, Family and Community Engagement, and Bolton Mac McDonald. There you go.
Right,
working with the Department of Education. Yes,
there
indeed.
Go. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys so much. You got to come back and just share more information with us. But that's about all the time we have for today's show. Many thanks to all of our guests, and especially you, our viewers, for watching and tuning in and checking it all out. Don't forget to tune into an all-new Open this Wednesday with host Darren Jaime. And always remember this, what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let your choice control the chooser. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. I'll catch you on tonight, right after the Quiet Storm with Lenny Green over 107.5 WBLS. From all of us here at Open, you guys did a great job. Thank you so much. We'll catch